Good morning and welcome to our channel, Self Sufficient Retirement. Today is Tuesday the 31st of March and it's about a bit after 8 o'clock in the morning. As you can see on the right hand side, the sun's just coming up over the coconut palms and it's a beautiful day sitting out here in my new office. For those of you new to watching our channel, my name's Stephen, 53-year-old retired accountant from Australia. I live here on the property with my partner Annalyn, who's not here at the moment. She's over there where the music is. Today I just wanted to go through why our channel is called Self Sufficient Retirement. If you have looked through our videos, most of them have been on building a new farmhouse, which is just over there. And that's really just the first part of our self-sufficiency journey. So today I'm just going to go over the top 5 things that are going to make this property a self-sufficient farm. Okay, number 1 is the fact that we own this land. When I say we, that's interchangeable with Annalyn and myself, because as you'll know, I cannot own land, so we own this block of land. It is exactly 5 hectares. If you have a look at the building blocks in Australia, in normal developments are about 500 square metres, we have 50,000 square metres. So it's about 125 metres across the frontage, and it goes back around 400 metres. That's our 50,000 square metres. We have title, Annalyn has title over this land, clear title, so we never have to deal with landlords or the like ever again. We do pay the equivalent of land rates here. At the moment, that is a grand total of about $50 a year. It's like our local government fees. They will probably increase now we've put this extra house on the property, but we'll see for next year. Basically, we got title to this property in June, July last year. It took about 12 months to get title to the property. And the total cost of this property in Australian dollars for 5 hectares was about 85,000 Australian dollars, or about 50,000 US for 5,000 square metres. For us, this is going to be productive land and will generate cash flow in its own right, which is I'll go through a bit later on. But that's the main thing. Firstly, land ownership. We own it. No one's going to take that away from us. And number 2 in our self-sufficiency goals is when you look at the utilities. Firstly, let's look at water. There's no municipal water here. The only water comes from the sky or in the ground. Now we have 2 wells. We've just dug a second well just for our new farmhouse. We have an existing deep well. It's about 10 metres deep. Has a pump at the top. It does really the rest of the farm here. It does all the animals. Works quite well, but probably certainly we don't drink it. But it's certainly fine enough to use for showering and for everything else we use on the farm, on this side of the farm. The new deep well we've dug, again, it's about 10 metres deep. It's got cement culverts all the way down, so the water should be kept nice and clean. We've got a submersible pump in that will pump water up to our tank at the house here, and then from there we'll need another pump to disperse it throughout the house. Then we've got another pump to do the pool filtration and whatnot. So we're going to have pumps everywhere, but it should mean we'll have nice, once we get the water tested, we'll have nice clean water when we work out the filtration system we need. Nice, clean water and good pressure all around our farmhouse, which is very important. So water is not a problem. Number 2 is electrical. Currently we're right on the road, so electric's no issue cutting into the main line. We've got two connections at the moment, one for the older greenhouse here in front of me, and then the second at the moment is to our native house, but that'll get switched over to the farmhouse. We are planning on putting quite a significant solar system on our farmhouse, which in time we are hoping, I say hoping because we'll need some time to work this out, hoping to power the whole farm. We're putting in quite a number of batteries, so I'll have quite a number of kilowatt hours in battery power. Most of the year round is very sunny here, so it won't be an issue. It's more so during the wet season, when you might get days on end with no sun. Even with no sun, the solar rays are still there, so we'll still get some power. We just don't know how much we're going to need in terms of battery power, but we'll try and get enough battery power so effectively we can go off grid, which would be the main aim. So electrical potentially in the future will be fully off grid if we can afford that many batteries. Thirdly is internet. We have a few cable connections here, but we're in a prime position to put Starlink on. So I'm about to put a satellite dish up near the house somewhere, and that should provide uninterrupted internet. The problem with our internet at the moment is the lines can sometimes sag over the road, get a truck going through, take out the whole internet line. That's what happens. Or during typhoon, which happened last year, lines all come down, no internet. So having Starlink will take us out of that realm totally, and we won't be relying on cables anywhere to get our internet. And I hope one day they actually get phone connection through that as well. I'm sure they're working on it. I'm sure it will come in the future where everything will be connected via satellite, but that's just one thing we're working on. And lastly, later this year we're going to potentially build another piggery, and on that piggery you normally put its own septic system. I've been looking at putting a biogas system on there, which basically turns the septic into a gas collection, and we can power the native house with gas collected from our own piggery. But more importantly for me is that system also produces a liquid fertiliser, so then we can use natural fertiliser throughout our property, depending on how much we get from the system. Unfortunately, those systems, or the one I've been looking at, is made in Israel, so it's possibly not a good time to get anything delivered from Israel. There's possibly a local alternative here, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. But certainly that's another thing looking at, biogas. All of which makes us fully self-sufficient in utilities, hopefully, in the future. Thirdly is food. That's a fairly obvious one. Here we've got quite a bit of space to grow things, and we've got quite a few animals. So food really comes in stages for us. The first stage, if you've seen the house build going, you can see we've got a really big pantry. The pantry is going to have built-in shelving down one side. The other side we'll have at least 2 big freezers and probably another fridge, just to store all of our things. Because the first part of self-sufficiency for us will be buying in bulk. So we can buy in bulk, store frozen food, whatever we need in our pantry, and that will mean we can survive here for quite a while without having to go to the supermarkets. So that's a really, really good thing. Second stage is cooking from scratch. So we need to buy less, and we just need to buy the raw materials to cook from scratch here. That has a number of benefits, in main one being health. You look through the ingredients list on some of the things you buy, got 14, 15 ingredients where there should be 2 or 3. So we feel like that'll be better for our health. Plus, we've got the nice, good-sized kitchen, so we can easily utilise that, and that's what we want to spend a good part of our time doing, and making things from scratch. And then thirdly, and probably most importantly, is making things from scratch using what we're producing on the farm. It's sort of amazing the breadth of things we can produce here. Obviously, they've got the fruit and veggies, all that kind of normal stuff. We've got quite a few fruit trees already. We're planting a number, but the reason why we got goats is for their dairy. Again, we're not milking them at the moment, but they can produce all the dairy we could require. Our coconuts. Coconuts are a really versatile fruit. Basically, from coconuts you can make oil, obviously coconut oil. You can make flour, coconut flour. If you can make flour, you've got oil, you've got dairy, any kind of, you can bake whatever you, pretty much whatever you like. And that's sort of where we want to get to going forward, being able to really produce everything that we eat. Again, the health benefits, you can't begin to describe the health benefits of eating fresh whole foods. It's just fantastic. And then going back to our animals, we have goats. You can eat goats. Goats quite nice. We have a pig. So we hope to breed piglets in the future, and we'll either keep a few piglets for our freezer or sell some piglets for some cash flow. We obviously have dogs and cats, which we do not eat. No, we do not eat dogs and cats, and they do not eat dogs and cats here where we are. What else do we have? We have chickens. Obviously, tell me chickens. Obviously, you can eat chickens, and they give you eggs, usually. Other things we've been looking at is ducks. We can easily put ducks here, and also rabbits. So that gives us a good variety of different meat types to keep us going throughout the year. And we've got the freezer space where we can fill up our freezer, so to speak. And in saying that, we, as I've learnt from those more wiser than myself, we treat our animals with respect, give them a really as normal and happy, free life as we can, and that should create nicer tasting meat at the end of the day. They're bred for meat, but we'll respect and take care of them in the meantime. Number 4 is security. I have had absolutely no worries about my personal security anywhere here in the Philippines, really. Since we've started building the house, I'd say most people, not in just our local barangay here, but in the greater municipality, we've been to different stores for our gas and whatnot, and as soon as we tell them where we want them delivered, they always seem to know that big new house. Yeah, that's our house. So because of the house we built, and they say big, I said 144 square metres, by no means big. However, it is got an extended height, given that we've got 3 metre high ceilings inside. That was simply just to try and keep the place cooler in the hotter months. So it looks like a big 2-storey house, but it's actually 1 storey, 144 square metres. So security. We're going to put bars on the windows. Every house here has bars on its windows, so it's not unusual. We're actually going to put them on the inside, so you actually probably won't even be able to see them on the outside, given that the glass is a bit reflective that I've seen. They'll have stainless steel bars on the inside. We're going to have curtains on the inside, so you won't see them from the inside as well, but they're going to be there on all of our windows. We're going to put smart locks on our doors. Three doors will have smart locks. So guess which 3 doors they're going to be. That'll keep you thinking. 3 smart locks. We are going to, a bit later down the track, where we've got a barbed wire fence around the front. We have to bring that in another 1.5 meters from the road, just to allow for potential road expansions, which is in the plans. We're going to build a, probably it might be half hollow blocks or half concrete, half bars fence along the 125 metres on the front there and up the sides a bit, and have wire etc. on those. I've started looking into whether we have an automatic gate at the front. That'll depend on two things: one, being able to get it here, and two, being able to find someone that can install it here. That might be a challenge, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see about that one. We will have full security cameras. We'll have a few cameras inside the farmhouse, but certainly all around the farmhouse will be covered by 24-hour security cameras. The ones we've been looking at, they're all motion detected, so they basically stay dormant until I see some motion. All infrared, so anytime, day and night, they'll be looking, watching for any movement and recording when they see movement. So that'll all be around the house. Also, I've got one, if you see the previous videos, at the front of the driveway, a street light on a big pole with street light, it's supposed to be a street light. I'm going to put a few of them around the property. That's all just solar powered, so that's come on when it gets dark. A few around the property. And also down just behind me here, we can't really fence it because it's got rivers going through there. We can't really fence it as much as I'd like, and we have people around there sometimes. So what we'll put in there is some hidden trail cams. So that's basically a hidden camera up in the trees. Again, detects movement, infrared, so we can at least take video and at least try and identify who's back there, as a bit of a deterrent once we identify who they are. Small community, everyone knows everyone here. The only main bit of crime around here is just petty theft. Just, you see, have something out. We had one of our puppies stolen. Go figure. We're giving them away. But a few nights ago we had 4 puppies, now we've got 3. I said could have been a snake come and got one, but we would have heard it if it was a snake. The mother would have gone ballistic if a snake had been there, and plus we would have noticed a snake around here digesting it. Someone come in and took it. We're quite clear someone come in and took it. We've had chickens gone missing, so just that kind of thing. So we just need a bit of deterrence up around the place, and that'll be fine. And put up a nice fence, and really a fence to keep the dogs out. They're not stray dogs, they're just dogs looking for a feed. Because we put feed out for our goats and whatnot, they can come in and get a feed anytime, and they do. So we're just trying to keep them out. And once we keep them out, we can then let our dogs loose a bit more. Our dogs are chained up, or do let them loose. And I'm going to put them on runs so they can have a good run. We're actually just putting another dog house in behind the house here. Because again, they're there for protection. They certainly let us know that if I go walking past the dog we're putting down there, she won't bat an eyelid, but someone else she doesn't know, she'll go crazy. So that's good for protection. Number 4. Now, lastly, is financial security. As I said, we're on 50,000 square metres of property. We use probably in the bit that we're using up here, probably 10%. We really aim to use the rest in terms of, I want to put a few different crops in there, namely cacao and coffee, because we love chocolate and coffee, so I want to grow our own. And the rest of it, basically pineapples. Why pineapples? Because that will pay the bills. Simply, if we can expand our pineapples to what we want to expand it to, that will cover all of the cost of this property. Now, as you probably may or may not notice, we are not doing very much of the work at the moment. That is by design. Really, that's where the retirement part of self-sufficient retirement comes in. We are retired. we do what we want to do. You know, we're quite happy getting out, feeding the animals, cleaning out the pigs, no problem at all. That's all easy, fine. Doing the gardens, no problem. However, we just want the property to be able to be managed by others, so that if we wanted to go away for the weekend, we can, and know it's in good hands and things are getting done that need to get done. Now, again, by having the pineapples, that just gives us the funds to do that. So don't think we're not doing any work. We're basically doing what we want to do and when we want to do it. But like I said, this whole lifestyle, that's what we chose to do, and certainly we're going to be getting in and doing stuff all day. At the moment, we've got only one person here full-time, and he's basically, at the moment, it's just basically feeding the animals. Feeding the animals, clean out the pig, clean out the cats, change the litter, got litter trays and all the cats, so kind of that. And he's been helping clearing the property as well. My main thing I do is mowing all this part. We really want it, the property's going to be split into two parts. Farmhouse over there, that's going to be as much as like a resort that we can make it, because that's where we want to live. And this part here, where all the animals are, that's going to be like a farm stay, petting zoo, a productive petting zoo. Just going to be all grass here, animals out doing what they want to do. So you've really got the best of both. Normally it's nice and quiet here. Today is not so quiet. You've got over at the farmhouse, obviously got the angle grinders going, got the building works going. If you hear music and loudspeaker in the background, that's actually at the school. It's their presentation day, so to speak. So that started at 8 o'clock. So that's about 500 metres down the road. And if you know anything about the Philippines, they like loud music, even at school. And we've got Omar building the doghouse. So if you hear hammering down that side, that's Omar at the doghouse. So we can move one of our dogs down next to the house. Again, for that added security. But all this is going to be financed. Omar's wages we're paying elsewhere, financed from growing pineapples. And like I said, our main focus going forward is really on the self-sustainable part, in terms of what we can do in the kitchen, what we can grow, and what we can grow and what we can preserve, whether it being by any means, whether we can it, put it in the freezer, whatever. And that's sort of where our focus is going to be, as well as we come out and spend time with the animals. It's really being able to break up your day doing things that you really don't mind doing and really love doing. So it's, like I said, this is our retirement, and sort of in between times we're going to be hopefully going on some trips and seeing some other parts of the country and other parts of the world in due course. And always being able to come back to what we call paradise. So yeah, that's the self-sufficiency aspect. We've probably got another, it's Tuesday today, so because of Easter, they stopped work today and won't come back till next Monday. So the building video won't be there's been a few changes in the last 2 days. But yeah, mostly building is the focus at the moment, but once we sort of finish that, you'll see the farm really start to develop. We've been a bit limited because some of our workers that we would have working here on the farm are helping with the building, so we want to try and keep all of our workers here local, which we've done a good job on so far. And yeah, that's about it. So keep watching our farm develop, and we've got a few really exciting projects coming up. So please subscribe, and we will try and show you all these exciting